My name is Jake. I am the CEO of Spiderking Studios. For those of you who don't know what it's all about, Spiderking Studios is a production company for film and commercial work. Pretty much the end goal, is to create a pretty much theater, a community theater, but for film, in a sense, so that we can create more opportunities for educational purposes. You wouldn't have to be an A-list actor to get into our studio and actually start learning how to do some film work, and whether that be acting or behind the camera, pretty much anything that has to do with film where we want to do. And that includes podcasts like this. This episode, I will be kind of on my own and doing this whole thing on my own. I have a list here of things that I'm going to go over. I'll also be answering questions. I can see all the chat right there on the side. So yeah, let's just get right into it. First off, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I do have to exercise. I have to explain how excited I am for Spider-Man No Way Home. I don't know if everyone out there is a Marvel fan, but and this isn't really anything on the docket to talk about today. I just wanted to. I'm a nerd, I'm a big Marvel fan, and I think it's going to be an amazing film. Whether they do it exactly how the fans want it or not, it's definitely going to go down as it's going to be a good one. I got front row seats, and oh man, I'm excited. Tobey Maguire is my personal favorite Spider-Man. Don't know if anybody else can relate to that, but just super excited about that movie. A few friends and I are going to go out and see it. I'm not going to spoil on Facebook. In fact, I'm going to be staying away from the... Spoiler alert, I can confirm that Spider-Man is infected. Dang it. Okay. So, we probably want to learn some Spiderking Studios stuff. That's kind of what we're here for. This is the Spiderking Studios podcast. Tune in Tuesdays. Every Tuesday, I will be coming here and doing a podcast for you all to see, just like this. Tuning into Facebook, YouTube. If anybody has any suggestions on other platforms that I could try out, yeah, I'll give it a try. But this seems to be where all of the people that I know are on. So first and foremost, death with dignity. So for those who don't know, Death with Dignity is my latest film that I've just wrapped up. It was an action thriller. It's about an hour long, and we managed to get it into theaters, and it's super exciting. Ticket sales are on SpiderKingStudios.com. I'll throw that into the description when I get a chance, or I could throw it into the comment section, or if somebody else wants to, they can do that too. But yeah, Death with Dignity. Pretty much the synopsis of the film is there's a guy who's just bored with life. He hates his life, and he just needs some more excitement. So he hires a hitman on himself. Yeah, it's a pretty ludicrous concept, but it was very fun to film. The star was Taylor, and he did a phenomenal job. I literally could not have asked for a better actor to do the work. And Gavin Pike was also the antagonist. He was the hitman. And we had Eileen Dietz on board. For those who don't know, Eileen Dietz is the little demon girl who was in The Exorcist. And so that was really cool, being able to work with her. We paid for everything, like flights, hotel. But I thought it would be really cool to have kind of a horror icon. That's horror, in case you didn't hear me. A horror icon, kind of just to be, in the movie. And it was kind of unnecessary. She was there for a day. We probably shouldn't have put the budget money toward it. But it was really fun. I'm not going to downplay the experience. That might have sounded like I was downplaying it, but that it was really fun to work with her, and she's a great gal. She's full of life. She loves her craft, and she's really good at her craft. She's really good at it, and her talent really does show in the scene that she is in. So if anybody throughout this podcast has any questions about Death with Dignity, without it being the the plot that I would spoil, then go ahead. It is going to be December 30th, 31st, and January 1st in theaters at Roseburg Cinema in Roseburg, Oregon. It will also be coming out later on digitally, and we will release that soon. It's just really cool. We're taking a step up in the world. We have the studio now. You can't see it, but I've got kind of the background stuff going. I got, some decor just to make it look a little more pretty. But we've also got a couple other films on deck, and those films would be Juvenile. Juvenile is a slasher. We wanted to have fun doing a really over-the-top, gory movie, and it's going to be fun. The script so far, I'm going to be directing it and I'm writing it. The script so far, I like it. It's my script, so of course I'm going to like it. But I think that it's coming together well, and it's going to be fun. There's a lot of just out there, over-the-top deaths that are going to be involved, and it's just going to be cool, getting all the actors together, having some really cool visual effects makeup on set is going to be really fun. And we also have The Lost Treasure of Father Crespi, which will be coming after that. We have some things to figure out, the script is all done, and, it's pretty much in pre-production, but it's going to be a very ambitious film. But it's going to be directed by J.T. Smith, pretty much my best friend, and he's definitely more than capable. I'm very proud about how far J.T. has come, just not only as a person, but as a filmmaker and a director, and he's made mistakes just like me, just like everybody else, but I think it's going to be exciting to be able to take a step back from the director position myself and let him go ahead and take that on, and it'll be a fun project. There's a lot of cool stuff, but that's really it. We're wanting to do some shorts. There's some TV shows, actually some series that we are wanting to get into, but those are kind of in the pre-production phase right now, not so much talking about it because we don't really know where we're at. But there's some pretty good ideas rolling around the table right now with our board of directors, and so I guess I'm gonna kind of move on now. I want to tell a quick little story, just to kind of transition here. Last night, and some people in the chat may remember this. Last night, I woke up, and for some context, I took a nap, okay? I was really tired yesterday, and I wound up taking a nap at 7 p.m., and I woke up at 10, but I felt so rested. I felt like I had the most deep sleep in the world, and I woke up at 10 thinking it was 10 a.m., but really it was 10 p.m. And so I thought that I was reliving Monday the 13th. It sounds really stupid, but when you're in the moment, you're freaking out. You're like, what? Why? How is it Monday still? Why is it still Monday? And I'm taking screenshots on my phone at the phone call logs to show 4 o'clock today. See, it hasn't happened yet. But so I had a psycho mental breakdown, I guess. But who doesn't? It's especially nowadays. Who doesn't have a psycho mental breakdown? So I'm glad that I just randomly shared that with you all. But anyway, moving on into kind of the future of Spiderking Studios. This is the stuff that I'm really excited to share. The projects are great, but we're going to still have projects. What I'm really wanting to talk about today is just how we're going to be functioning, like as a studio, and just in the future, how we will become an influence not only in our community, the community of Douglas County in Oregon, but maybe even nationally or even internationally. I think it's definitely possible. We'll need some help, and we'll need to just keep the enthusiasm. But really, what I have in mind is to create, good and fulfilling content, but content that also has a purpose. And, content that makes you question why things in the film industry are done a certain way like they are now. Like, for example, a micro budget in the film industry could be considered $10,000 on the low end, $100,000 on the bigger scale of things, bigger projects. But our first film, Limbo, was done on what we would consider micro budget, and we did it for about $50, for gas, catering, maybe $100. But we made a film, and it wasn't too bad. Is it watchable? Probably not. I shouldn't say that, but come on, it's our first film, and it's got some quirks, some grainy camera angles are a little but we've definitely come a long way. I started this whole shindig when I was 16 years old, still in high school. I just fell in love with film. I did some PSAs here locally with the Up to Us Now youth media projects done by the Child Abuse Coalition, and it was a really amazing opportunity, and pretty much the youth got to write what they thought were issues in the community, and they got to write it, direct it, film it. It was all really cool, and that made me have a love for film. And that's why I started this whole thing. So at 16, I made my first short film called Dead Man Walking, and it was terrible, but also beautiful at the same time. It was terrible and beautiful. I think it's at 180,000 views now, and I did the calculations. If I had not used copyrighted music and it was all my own, I could have been sitting on $18,000 right now, just with AdSense and everything. Boo-hoo. But anyway, enough sulking about that. What I'm really getting at is we all start somewhere, and what kind of environment I'm trying to create for Spiderking Studios and the community, not only just Oregon, but eventually the country, is that film can be done with any level of budget that you're at. You can do it on your iPhone. That's what Dead Man Walking was filmed on. It was filmed on an iPhone. You don't have to have $1 million to make a film. You don't have to pay everybody. You should pay people, but that's a discussion for another day. But the whole point is that when you're passionate about something and you want to make something happen, you can do it. And that's what we're trying to prove, and that's what we're trying to do. And we've been making really good strides. Death with Dignity, the movie that we're coming out with, I'm very happy with. Yes, there are things that we could have definitely done better, but overall, we had a pretty good structure. The acting is pretty good. The locations are beautiful, in my opinion. And just overall, I'm very happy with how the project turned out, and it's in theaters. It's our first film that's in theaters where people can actually buy tickets and come and watch it, and I think that's a really cool thing. Us as a small little indie studio, just making stuff happen. But what does that mean for the future? Well, obviously, we would like to make more of these kind of films. I did say earlier that money doesn't dictate everything, but it does dictate some things. That being said, of course we're trying to grow, and we're trying to build a budget here so that we can create something better. We can put out better content for you all. And that's really the end goal. What I envision for the near future is for us to wind up doing more short films. So like on a monthly basis, bi-monthly basis, put out a couple of short films, and then maybe even weekly do a mini short film. So that would be like a 5 to 7 minute long short film with some, visual effects or something. Just fun little projects that might seem crazy and outlandish, but, just small little projects to mess around with. And then, of course, features like Death with Dignity, Limbo. It would be really cool to do a couple of those like a year. We did our, like I said, with just starting out, we made 2 feature films in the span of a year. Not even a year. Well, yeah, it was a pretty much a full year. We made 2 feature films in our first year of business as an actual formed studio, an actual company. And I think that's really cool, I'd like to do more podcasts like this. I'm planning on doing this once a week, and eventually we're going to be getting some guests on board and some people from the board of directors on Spiderking Studios in here, so that you can get to meet more of our crew. And we're going to have different talking points each day, or just maybe free flow it. I'm definitely going to try to get better at this with the whole transition thing like this. But yeah, vlogs. I think behind the scenes vlogs would be cool. It's something that I messed around with in the past. You can go onto the YouTube and search it up. It's very cringy seeing a younger me jumping around, shoving marshmallows in my mouth and squealing. But it was fun. So, I'll leave it at that. But I would like to do more vlogs in the future, more or less representing the behind-the-scenes portions of things. Just, doing a fun thing. Just showing what we do and kind of having a more personal connection with the audience that we are trying to create. And also in the future, whether that be the near future or further future, this really is a question because of COVID happening right now. So the reason, I should probably tell you, short film showcases, right? So we want to have an opportunity for anybody within the community, anywhere really, to submit a short film to us. Of course, it being their original work, and then maybe we can even include some of our own and have a short film showcase, kind of like a little mini film festival, but for short films, and just have an audience come together and watch it, and all the creators at least, and give out some fun awards and stuff on the highest ranked. It would be really cool. We were about to do that before COVID struck, and it's something that I really wanted to do again. So, not again, just do in general, because we didn't get a chance to do it at all. So, short film showcases would be awesome, but I also had an idea for film festivals, like an SKS, Spiderking Studios Film Festival. So that would pretty much be the same thing as a short film showcase, except it would be for feature films. People would bring in their own stuff, and At this point, I would assume that we would have a bigger budget, maybe, to give out cash prizes or something like that. Because what else would the incentive be for us as a smaller studio to host these kind of things? That is where the budget money would come in, because I do want to get to a point where I can kind of be a philanthropist. I like helping people out. I love the idea of giving back to the community, or giving to charity and things like that, giving to people who are in need, or just hosting events and having fun. So what are we doing to get there, though? Spiderking Studios is doing commercial work for businesses around town. If you go on our website, you'll see advertisements for Organ Door, Old Soul Pizza, Bluebird Pizza, Spectrum, which is now True North Restoration, and we are going to be hopefully doing some more with them soon. I also film personally. I do some stuff for plays and musicals around town with UACT. I'd really love to go and talk to the folks at UACT and kind of do something cool with them, like maybe enact this community theater, but for film on a deeper level, by actually going in there and seeing if they'd be willing to hold auditions for a UACT sponsored film project. And so I think that would be a really cool idea, actually have them host something. It would be kind of under them, but we would come in and do the filming and everything, and it would be like on their season docket. I know I'm talking without any backing on us actually doing this, but just putting the idea out there, I've seen makes things happen sometimes. And of course, Spiderking Studios, my ultimate dream with Spiderking Studios is to allow it to be a platform for anybody to, join us, and really anybody to present their ideas and bring in their scripts or direct a film. It's supposed to be an educational thing. We want to turn Southern Oregon into not the next Hollywood, but the first Spiderking Studios. The name I wouldn't know, but definitely I want, pretty much the goal, right, is to have opportunities here so that people don't have to go elsewhere. People don't have to go to LA. People don't have to go to Portland. It would bring opportunities here, and I think it would be a really cool thing. Not only for educational purposes, so that people didn't have to have a high knowledge in film. They could actually learn on set, kind of like on-the-job training. But, it would be all community-based and local, and they would actually see their films be put to life, and maybe it wouldn't be the biggest Hollywood blockbuster right away, but they'd see people watch it. It would be put in the cinema like we're doing with Death with Dignity, and it would just be really cool. It'd be like magic in front of our eyes, and eventually I would like to get to a place where we're kind of bigger and we have a bigger studio, and we're kind of making things happen. I see a question from Curtis. Have you considered making digital animations? Heck yes, we have. We actually have a head of an animation department in Spiderking Studios. That's JT. I was talking about him earlier. We would definitely love to do 3D animation in particular. The only problem is the shortage of animators that are with us. So if anybody out there knows anybody who or is a 3D animator, then come on by and talk to us. I'm trying to learn, and some other people are putting their hands in it, but you can probably understand me having everything else to control. It's a little hard for me to sit down and learn a whole new craft, because 3D animation is a monster, let me tell you. But we have big ideas. I mean, JT has an entire series in mind that he wants to be 3D animated, and it's an amazing series, but I mean, you need a team for that kind of thing, you know? And we just don't have the resources for that. And I think a lot of the resources would come in through funding, you know, through doing these sort of projects that we're doing. Or at least having the people who are passionate enough to join the crew and kind of, you know, make things happen with us and share their passion. I saw a question earlier too. I think it was from, yeah, so where does the name SKS come from? Where does Spiderking Studios come from? That's not as exciting of an answer as you're probably imagining. The name Spiderking was originally a gamer tag of mine on the Xbox, and the reason why it was my gamer tag, Spiderking, it's such a weird name. I wanted Spider-Man to be my gamer tag, and Spider-Man was taken, so I saw Spider King, and so that's what I ran with. That's really it. Let's see here. All right. Yeah, I try to teach myself that right now, but the Air Force is in the way. But I'll keep my ears out. Heck yeah. And, you know, thank you for your service, too. It takes a lot to, you know, put yourself into a bigger picture and serve your country. Wrong side. You can probably see back there, I was in the military myself, medically retired at this point. But that is also another story for another day. There is another thing on the dock that I wanted to get into. And that is, we had some posts earlier, either a couple weeks ago or a week ago or so, but pretty much we had a poll on what kind of short you all would like to see. And I'm going to announce the winner of that poll here, if it will load for me. Okay. So, I mean, I kind of expected it. The winner of the poll, for those of you who didn't know what the poll we did was, it was pretty much me putting out, we want to do some visual effects on some short films for your entertainment. Out of the following options, which short film effect would you like to see? Because I'm trying to get more into the visual effects side of things, just to, you know, have some fun. So the first option was Marvel effects, so, you know, getting into the theme of showing, you know, like a Spider-Man web shooter or something like that. The second option was Avatar: The Last Airbender, which would be a bit of a challenge, but I think it'd be cool. And the last option was Stranger Things. That was more of like creating an environment rather than, you know, kind of, you know, effects, but sky replacement, color grading, things like that. And the ultimate winner, and I think we can all imagine the outcome, was going to be Marvel. So here in the next week or two, I will release a Marvel short film. I will get some actors together. If anybody's interested, you can also reach out to me. We are going to be doing a Marvel style short film. We might not call it Marvel specifically just for copyright stuff. Maybe we will. I don't care. We might. But yeah, I'd like to do some effects, you know, like Spider-Man web shooter, the Infinity Gauntlet, just making someone fade away, flying, jumping. I think some superhero effects would be really cool just to mess around with. Okay. Aiden is going to be Black Widow, he says. Marvelous. Yes. All right. Well, I will say that right now, that is pretty much everything I had in my outline that I wanted to talk about today. But I will answer any questions that are posted in the chat. So I will stay on here and just continue talking a little bit more and allow some questions if anybody has any questions for me just about Spiderking Studios, about really anything. You could ask what kind of ice cream I like or something. I don't care. Just ask anything and I will respond to the best of my ability. But first, I'm going to talk again about... What am I going to talk about? Yeah. So something I could talk about again is Spider-Man No Way Home. If you're not excited about the film, who even are you? I'm just kidding. Everyone has their own interests, but no, it seems like they knew what the fans wanted and they're really going for it. And I think it's going to be really cool. I personally don't think that they were even slightly going for what they originally I don't think that they were going for what they have now. I think the script was probably totally different, and just the slightest little hints through the audience crazy, like, oh wow, there's multiple Spider-Man, it's going to be a multiverse thing. And I think they were like, oh no, now they're expecting this. I think that they probably just changed it all on a whim. That's my theory. I could be wrong. They could have planned this all along. I mean, let's face it, Sony and Disney have obviously been more in cahoots than we have originally thought. I'm not going to spoil anything in particular, but there are certain after credits scenes that prove that. Venom 2. And I just think it's really cool, the path that they are taking. And, me being a big Marvel fan, super big Marvel fan, after Endgame, I was like, how are they going to top this? I don't think that they're going to be able to top this. And I was like, DC better step their game up because now's your chance. But no, Marvel knows exactly what they're doing, and they are going for it. The whole multiverse thing, I think, is amazing. The whole idea, I didn't even think that this would be possible. Just, being able to see all my favorite characters on screen together, we saw that back in the Avengers, but we're seeing it now in the form of Spider-Man. And, Spider-Man being my favorite superhero and one of my favorite characters, a character that I hold dear to my heart. It's really cool, and it will, if Tobey Maguire, I say if, because we still don't know for a fact if they're going to show up in the movie. There are still people who believe that it won't happen, and I'm a little scared that it won't happen. But at this point, I feel like it's Hollywood's worst kept secret, because, let's face it, if Toby and Andrew aren't in the movie, even as a short cameo, what are they even doing? They have these other characters, the villains from previous movies, and they have acknowledged the fact that these other Spider-Men exist. So it would only be crazy for them to not, show up in this movie. So let's see. Some questions here. How old is your dog? Which one? I don't personally have a dog. I wish I did. I have, my parents. My dad has a couple of doggos. There's those doggos, and then there's 3 of them. What kind of ice cream do you like? I love chocolate chip mint. That's probably my favorite. Or, cookies and cream is probably a good go-to, though. Does the studio have a studio? Yes, Spiderking Studios does have a studio. I am in it right now. I mentioned it at the beginning of the podcast. It's really cool. I would turn the camera around, but we'll be doing more like vlog style videos as we go. And I'll do some more showing around where there's a whole wall here that I'm going to be using as a green screen production wall. And, there's going to be storage and everything. I'm really excited about the possibilities with this. Because this was an old laundromat, and it was turned into a studio, because I caught them in the middle of renovations. And so they pretty much just were like, okay, what do you want? And we'll add it to the list. And I'm like, okay. It's like kid in a candy shop for me. So I'm just like, sound insulated walls. Give me a light bar up there. I mean, so there's like light strips all up there. Not strips, inputs for electricity. There's just... It's going to be really cool decorating, and, I need to get this place cleaned up because it's still a mess from me moving in. But, so I need to get all the storage and props aside, all my primary film equipment into the other side, and really get the production wall going, and it'll be golden. I mean, I'm really excited about this. Fuji. Not a sponsor, but it's good. It's good water. Drink your water. Health is wealth in 2022. It's not 22 yet, but it will be soon. Health is wealth in 2022. What are the wacky numbers on the front and back of your credit card? Well, shucks, let me go grab that for you. I think it's strange that Garfield's movies ended on a cliffhanger and never continued. It makes me think Marvel presented them with No Way Home idea. I have thought about that myself too. It is interesting to think about. I think that the movies just sort of failed, and that's why that happened. But, they're probably profiting off of the idea now. Like, they're taking the idea of that cliffhanger, and they are now applying it to No Way Home. I think that's probably how that wound up happening. Whew. We riot. B tier water. Icelandic all the way. Me personally, I'm not a specific... I'm gonna try to keep this a family-friendly podcast and not say the curse words, but I'm not. I'll make the exception this once. I'm not a brand whore, okay? So the fact that it's Fiji water doesn't mean anything to me. Just like I don't care about going thrift shopping. I don't care about going to Walmart to get shoes and stuff. Like, I didn't grow up the most wealthy person in the world, and so I have an appreciation for that kind of stuff, So if I ever do become, rich or wealthy, I don't think it's going to get to my head. So, I guess that's a good explanation. From the islands of Fiji, natural water. Wow. This is from the islands of Fiji. I can taste the Fiji. Okay. Well, I will say that at this point, I have mentioned pretty much all that I want to mention. Quickly before I close off, I would like to ask, what kind of content would you like to see Spiderking Studios produce? Like I said before, I want to get more into vlogs. I'm going to be podcasting Tune In Tuesdays every week, so stay tuned. Come in next Tuesday to join in for another discussion. And also, I would like to do some, short films and some mini shorts. Because that would be fun, That's what I'm going to be doing with the Marvel short that we're doing. If you go onto the YouTube channel, Spiderking Studios, and you go back and you look at some of our not so recent videos, there is a Spider-Man short film that I did. And it's not too bad, actually. I used some web shooter effects, and it didn't look bad. I also did kind of an Infinity War ripoff with the fading away with the Marvel. Those were the days. Jeez, what is happening? Yeah, those were the days where I could just run amok and be a child. Go-to sandwich builds. Built from either Subway, at home, etc. I actually do have some go-to sandwich builds. In Subway, it's the meatball marinara all the way. With some provolone cheese on top. Toasted. Bring it out. Sometimes I put spinach on it. Sometimes I don't. Parmesan cheese. Pepper. Oh yeah. Pretty much heaven between buns. If you catch my drift. I also have a dang good recipe for a sandwich that I've made personally. Back when I was living in my previous home, I made a really bomb sandwich. It was delicious. Pretty much, you get your bread, you have mayonnaise, honey mustard, you put your meat on there. So ham. I like to put ham on my sandwich. Cheese. I kind of went with cheddar. Then I also put pepperoni slices. You see where I'm going with this? And then I went and I put the dill pickle slices. It was like the buttermilk, I think, whatever. And that was pretty much it. It was a really good sandwich. Oh my God. Like, you never specified the Subway bread? Well, I think it would be a crime to not like Italian herbs and cheese. I think it's a little self-explanatory what my favorite bread is. Okay. Untouched by man, bottled at the source. I wonder how Fiji water is bottled. Yeah, that is a good question. If you do want further idea on modeling, Blender is a good program. Blender Guru is good. The YouTube. Yeah, I've actually watched some of Blender Guru's videos. I have been learning Blender a little bit. Blender is a really amazing program, and I think the best thing about Blender is that it's free. So literally anybody who has the capabilities with their computer, and let's be honest, Blender doesn't actually have demanding specs, I don't think. So just going onto Blender and just learning. There's a video on YouTube. It's probably the most famous Blender video ever. It's actually a series of videos, but it's how to make a donut. It just teaches the person in the video just teaches you how to take a shape and you mold it into a donut, and then you learn how to put the glaze on it, how to put the sprinkles, how to color it, and then add shadow and depths and stuff. Something that I have gotten into recently is Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine is an amazing software, and for those of you who do not know what Unreal Engine is, heck, why don't I even just show you real quick? Unreal Engine. It's a 3D animation software that pretty much allows you to... I mean, it's a game development software. That's what it really is. But filmmakers have been using it to make 3D compositions. So let's like open this one right here, for example. You can see this whole thing right there. Yes, the donut series, the iconic donut. Yes, I agree with that comment right there from Josh. Blender isn't demanding on your computer downloadable. Yeah, no, it's really low, speckage, whatever terminology you want to use. But this engine right here, Unreal Engine, it does require a little bit more, but it is a pretty amazing software. I'm actually going to just go to a new level here. Time of day, boom. And let me know if you guys can see this, because I don't know if it's going to cut out or not. Boom. But it has this really cool thing called Ludimetry, where pretty much, watch this. I use some keys on my keyboard, and I can move the sun around, and it creates different shading. Pretty much different times of day. How cool is that? And then, boom. I'm going to just check this real quick. Yeah. So, if I go to landscape up here, I can choose what material I want to make the ground. So pretty much all of this space down here, the ground. So let's search grass, or ground moss. There's grass right here. Boom. And then I can press create. Boom. Yeah, if you look at that, there's now grass. And then I can go over here. I'm going to raise that up a little. Boom. And then I'll come over here, and I'll show you again that Ludimetry tool that I was talking about, and show you how insane this is. Boom. Look at that. The shading in this is amazing. I mean, look, that's a sunset right there. And you just raise it up. It's crazy. Boom. I don't know if you all saw that, but yeah, that would be pretty awkward if it was just a black screen. So yeah, I mean, Blender is really good. That's like the OG animating software. Unreal Engine, without a doubt, in my opinion, is the future of filmmaking. I mean, let's just bring the example of The Mandalorian. If those of you who don't know, The Mandalorian used Unreal Engine for a lot of their sets. Instead of having a green screen, they had pretty much a big circular set entirely of LCD screens, including the roof. And it was all a projection from the Unreal Engine. And they actually took the camera and linked it to the 3D camera model inside the Unreal Engine, and that's how the camera shifting an angle actually translated into the software, and it had the same movement with its 3D camera, and so they made really realistic sets that way. And the actors, they've been quoted for saying things like, "I can't even tell where the edge of the stage is," and that's insane, you know. And I mean, it's not cheap. But there are people in the industry right now already figuring out different ways to take that kind of style of filmmaking and apply it to smaller indie projects. And it's already being done with Unreal Engine. See ya, Curtis. Thanks for joining us. And it's really cool. It's pretty much taking an indie filmmaker, like myself, for example, and saying, hey, if you could film anywhere in the world, where would you film? And let's say I pick Norway, or a glacier. I want to film in a giant glacier. That is now a possibility. I mean, you can put that in the background. Yeah, you could even still use green screen and create your very own backgrounds. So Unreal Engine is a very powerful tool, and they are also coming up with, I don't know if it's Unreal Engine or Bridge. I can't remember, but Unreal Engine, Quixel, Bridge. There's another program partnered with Unreal Engine called Quixel, and they are creating a program, a software called MetaHuman, and MetaHuman is pretty much reconnected successfully. Okay, there was a pause there for a second. I don't know how much I missed out, but I am here still. Don't know what that was all about. But this is all still a learning curve. This is my first time using OBS and actually doing that. What did Interstellar use? I'm told that the black hole simulation took an hour to produce every second of it in order to make the black hole scientifically accurate. I'm not sure, actually. I know that it's very possible that they use a software like Unreal Engine or did it themselves. That's probably what they did. I don't know the ins and outs, though. I'm not too caught up with that particular film. I was saying something, though, before I disconnected. That's right, I was talking about metahumans. So, metahumans, pretty much, I could create myself, and it would be photo identical to me. It would be real, like hair follicles, eye movement, like it looks real, and it's crazy because now we have the ability to pretty much create an actor from scratch and put them in a film, and that's insane. And it's not like the dumb 3D animated looking kind of character. It's like a real person. So the heights of just the art world, the film industry, it's going to crazy heights right now. Like right now, I'd say is an amazing time to be in the film industry and to be doing this kind of stuff. Like it's crazy the heights that the industry is reaching right now. That also being said, I forgot to mention something about the Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine, they use a photo scanning kind of program. Sorry, my words. Pretty much what they do is they take an actual object in real life and they photo scan it, and it looks photo identical or a photo realistic because it's an actual object in real life that has been photo scanned, and they put that into the software. That's why it looks so realistic in Unreal Engine. So, for example, there's a pack called the Utah Canyons, and I played around with that for a while. My particular software for Unreal Engine is a beta, so it's not really fully functional, or else I would love to put out a little promo video about it. Maybe I could mess around and see if I can do that. But anyway, it's these, and sometimes massive, like, just objects, like a giant canyon. like this giant rock from a canyon, and it's photo scanned, and it's put into this software, and you could choose HD, 4K, I think even 6K, and it's just amazing, just going into the software and looking at that and zooming in, and you can like see all the fine details, and you can add foliage in there too, put grass everywhere, and there's really nothing you can't do with Unreal Engine. It's crazy, like if you have the assets, it's great. I mean, but enough of talking about Unreal Engine. We have pretty much broken the hour mark here, so I feel like there has been enough that I've talked about. If there's any questions that people want to say as I'm doing my outro, I can answer as I go, but really I think that this would be a good stopping point for me. I've talked about the future of Spiderking Studios and my dreams and aspirations, so now all the people watching know about that. Tune in Tuesdays. I'm going to be doing this every week. At least I'm going to try my best to. I'm going to do it. And every week I'll bring on a guest, and if anybody wants to guest, we can even do it digitally, to where someone just kind of calls in, or we can do it on Zoom or something like that, and it'll be cool. We can talk about anything. Really, this isn't just specifically for Spiderking Studios and film industry stuff. We could just have a conversation and do a podcast about it. I would prefer to stay away from politics a whole lot, and religious views and things like that, just because that's not really the climate I'm trying to create for Spiderking Studios. However, if that is something that people really do want to see, then I don't see why not. I don't see where, we could integrate it somehow, is what I mean. So, shorts are going to be coming out. We have that Marvel visual effects short that we are going to be doing, and Death with Dignity. It's in theaters, man. I know it's in New Year's. I didn't realize that until after I booked it. But if it's doing as well as it is now, we're almost sold out for the first day, for the 30th, and that's insane. My film is in theaters and it's almost sold out on that first day, and it's really cool. So the 30th, 31st, 1st, 6 p.m. Get your tickets at SpiderKingStudios.com. We are going to be making a website shift here pretty soon, because I do everything on my phone here. I pretty much use a website building software in an app, and there's no way to really edit it on the PC or anything unless you have a Mac. And I have a MacBook, but it's really outdated, and it was refurbished and it runs slow, and so it's really not an option. So I'm switching over to a different website builder and pretty much creating our website from scratch, and I'm going to be transferring the domain name to that website. So pretty soon we'll have a different look. So expect that. I'm probably going to do that after Death with Dignity has kind of faded out, so that there's no confusion on ticket sales and how to get those now, since we've been doing it for a while already. So yeah, there's Death with Dignity. Juvenile is coming up next. I'm really excited about that, doing our first slasher. That's going to be fun. And then Lost Treasure of Father Crespi. It's going to be a really fun project. It's going to be awesome. Vlogs. I'm really open to whatever interpretation the audience wants here. So if you have any idea for a vlog idea, something that'll be interesting that you would like to see, a day in the life of Jake, or how does Spiderking Studios do this? How is a short film made? Just message that, comment below, give me all the ideas that are going through your head, and I'm very personal with the audience I'm trying to create, so the chances are if you comment something, ask any questions, I'm going to answer. So, with that being said, I have one more question on here from Josh. Will this video be recorded for those who missed part of the video? Yeah, so I don't know about the Facebook Live aspect of this, but on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Spiderking Studios, this is all being recorded, and for the best of my knowledge, live streams onto YouTube stay after they go up, and so I'm definitely going to keep this on YouTube for people to go back and watch, and maybe I'll even download it and edit it up. But this is pretty much kind of what I'm going for. It's like kind of just a raw live stream podcast. It's how I think it should be done. There's going to be some things that happen, some technical difficulties every once in a while. This is my first time using this particular software, and so I was very nervous. But I think it went well. Definitely also want to do challenges, do challenge vlogs that showcase our crazy selves, like the Bean Boozled challenge. Yes, I definitely want to get into that stuff too. So, with that being said, again, put down your ideas in the comments section below, and I think I'm going to end it there. So, once again, thank you all very, very, very much for joining. Tune in Tuesdays, episode 6. This was episode 6, by the way. So next will be episode 7. We're going to do this again next Tuesday, if everything stays well. And I'm going to try to get a guest on, and I will announce it and make sure I create another event on Facebook for that as well. And in that, I will also announce who our guest would be and everything like that. So, I hope everyone has a very lovely night and sleeps well, unlike me, because I have a terrible sleep schedule and it's all my fault. But anyway, thanks for all of you tuning in. I had much of a bigger audience, some that weren't commenting, but some were just kind of watching, and that's okay. I'm happy. I had a bigger audience than I thought I was going to have for this first episode. So, stay awesome, spiderlings. That was cringe. I'm so sorry.